Hey y'all, it's Seras here from Addict Gaming, and today I'll be bringing you the Elementalist Changes in the September 9th feature patch. The Grandmaster trait Blinding Ashes received an adjustment to allow it to perform an AoE blind when used in conjunction with AoE burning skills. It also had a bug fix to prevent the Elementalist from blinding themselves. The usability of the Grandmaster trait Lightning Rod was improved, as it now works on any disable, not just skill interrupts. The new Arcane Grandmaster trait Elemental Contingency received a buff which allows each attunement to have its own internal cooldown for the trait. This allows us to make use of all of its buffs, not just one on a 10-second cooldown. Whirlpool and Tornado received an adjustment to their power scaling and received base damage buffs in order to compensate for this loss in power. This also means no more 10k meteor showers though, unfortunately. The number 2 skill, Vapor Form, for the Alley Down state received updated visuals in order to distinguish it from Mist Form, as Vapor Form can still be affected by crowd control effects. The number 4 skill on the Fiery Greatsword received a massive nerf. The skill no longer generates fire fields if you don't move a decent distance, so basically the wall stack with the Fiery Rush is dead. The number of fields produced by the skill was halved, and their damage was increased by 70%, making it so that the fields pretty much won't be doing any good damage whatsoever to any mob that you're fighting. The skill, however, now ignores any movement penalties from Chilled and Cripple, and the actual leap attack that the skill does received 140% damage increase, so it pays to have a target now to use the skill. The number 3 skill, Burning Speed, on the Dagger Fire Attunement, and the number 4 skill, Burning Retreat, on the Staff Fire Attunement both join Fiery Rush in no longer generating fire fields if you don't move a decent distance. Control of when the elementals from the Glyph of Lesser and Greater Elementals use their special attacks has been given. They now operate in a similar fashion to how the active effects of Necromancer minions work. The Glyph of the Storms has also received a buff. The Firestorm now also adds a second of burning per hit, and the Lightning Storm now adds 2 stacks of 8-second vulnerability per hit. The Signet of Air had its recharge lowered to 25 seconds, giving the Elementalist access to a stun break on a 25-second cooldown. Signet of Earth had its cast time lowered to half a second and its recharge time lowered to 25 seconds. It now also applies an additional 5 stacks of 7-second bleeding on top of its immobilize. Signet of Fire had its cast time lowered to half a second and its direct damage increased by 100%. Signet of Water also had its casting time reduced to half a second and its cooldown reduced to 25 seconds. Arcane Wave and Brilliance received a bug fix, so they now work with the trait Arcane Energy. Arcane Energy restores 25% of your endurance when you use a Arcane or Signet skill. Persisting Flames received a fix which allows it to provide the correct extra durations to many of the skills it affects. Among these are Lava Font, Burning Retreat, and Ring of Fire. Cleansing Water was fixed to no longer cause conditions to be removed around the Elementalist when used in conjunction with the skill Healing Rain, and Water Blast had its healing AoE correctly centered. The traits Final Shielding and Arcane Retribution are now affected by Arcane Mastery and Arcane Energy. The Icebow number 5 skill, Deep Freeze, can now do damage to a player that has been frozen already by another hit of Deep Freeze. Scepter 3 Phoenix in the Fire Attunement had a bug fixed which prevented it from sometimes granting Vigor and removing Condis. The trait Zephyr's Focus no longer grants Cone of Cold endurance regeneration after it's ended, and the trait also no longer displays on the buff bar. Last up, the number 2 skill in the Dagger Fire Attunement, Drake's Breath, received a fix that stopped it from being counted as a multi-hit attack sometimes. Alright, there is most of the changes to the alley. There were a number of minor bug fixes that I didn't include in the patch as they were just tooltip and skill fact changes. A number of the tooltips were updated as well, along with those minor fixes. I'll have my thoughts video up on the alley changes up sometime next week, as this will give me more time to make some decisions and analysis on them. And I'll possibly have recorded this on my new microphone if it arrives in time from Amazon. Once again, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time.